Hi, I'm James J. Traitz, author of the book, Don't Stop Your Mind. And with me is Dr. James J. Hurtak and Dr. Desiree Hurtak. Dr. James Hurtak is the author of the book of Knowledge, The Keys of Enoch, which I'm holding up. And Dr. Jim Hurtak and Dr. Desiree Hurtak are the co-authors of their latest book, The Overself Awakening. During the next several videos, we will be discussing topics which are of great interest to all of those that are interested in enlightenment and growing in self-realization. The first subject that I wanted to bring up with Dr. Jim and Dr. Desiree Hurtak is the question of ultra-terrestrials. Not extraterrestrials, but ultra-terrestrials. So my question then for J.J. Hurtak and Desiree is, what are ultra-terrestrials?
Ultra-terrestrials are those forms of higher intelligence that are not concretized into any physical technology or evolutionary form that we can identify with. They are basically forms of intelligence that have evolved into a higher state of energy that can change the morphology, the direction, the, shall we say, the operating nature of their presence. And they are to be distinguished between those civilizations that are the extraterrestrials and those which are the non-extraterrestrials, they be the humans that are stuck in one evolutionary track.
Right, and I think this is so exciting because many people are starting to believe in extraterrestrial intelligence. And then they don't understand we're angels in all of this, whereas other hierarchies and teachers of light in other worlds that maybe people talked about in ancient times. But just because there's extraterrestrials doesn't put everything in one basket. We can have multiple dimensions, multiple realities, multiple life forms. So ultra-terrestrials basically are those entities that don't have to have this physical body, but still can appear, like an angel can appear, or like a being of light, as people call it nowadays, can appear in someone's room in the middle of the night. Many people have had this experience where there's just this being of light, or this shimmering light, or they feel something, and it's more than a ghost. So we have to start understanding that we are just one small level of intelligence in the midst of a vast hierarchy, and I'll change that word even, holarchy. That means we're all working and functioning hopefully together of other levels of intelligence. So we need to open our minds.
I think what might be fascinating to add while we're still on this subject is, before the age of science, there have been reports throughout the historical record, not just in the Bible, but among all peoples of the earth, including ancient Indian cultures and ancient indigenous cultures, of experience with beings from the sky. They were called gods and angels. We are all familiar with the many stories of interaction between an order of angels, several orders of angels, and mankind throughout biblical times. What is so fascinating is that Jim and Desiree, as I call them, having known them for well over 35 years, have demonstrated and discovered that in sacred areas, such as the area of the pyramids in Giza, when they chant the sacred names, many of which are found in the Bible, it releases a sound harmonic which actually dimensionally opens gateways to non-physical orders of intelligence.
And the modes of operation will shift from category to category. And also, using as illustration the great film of Spielberg, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where the noted sociologist personified by Truffaut is using certain hand signals, later music signals, to make contact with the extraterrestrials. There is a musical linguistics we have found that we can use possibly to open up certain dialogues or certain experiences to differentiate between the extraterrestrials and the ultra-terrestrial.
And I think this is what we can really bring to the table for people nowadays, to give them a cosmology, because people realize, yes, there's more to life than what we see here on this planet. And yet on this planet there's millions of life forms, from the fish, from the ants, from different animal species. But what's in space? If there is there just one form of extraterrestrial? Is there just one reality? And when people start studying the extraterrestrial reality, what they find out is it's very difficult to define them. Some people just want to look at something in a metal spaceship that flies overhead that someone sees. Other people are wondering why something like abductions can take place, where there's a being that actually materializes through the walls of the room. How does that happen? But we still classify those beings as extraterrestrial because they usually do use some sense of flying saucer. But when you go beyond that to really light manifestations, we're talking about the ultra-terrestrial level. So let's realize the vastness of the universe we live in.